I had a client ask me the other day if I just totally cut out all sugar, and absolutely not. Let me explain this to y'all now. All things in moderation. However, if you're someone who has a crippling addiction to sugar, I would not suggest this during the early stages of your weight loss journey. But I'm just going to share with y'all the highs and the lows of how I carry on. I typically don't crave sugar, but every once in a while, my daughter will do something like when we went grocery shopping, she bought chocolate chip cookies, the kind that you bake. And so, hang on just one second. We got these from Sam's Club, and they're about 160 calories each. So I'm going to put two here. I'm still going to weigh them once they cook, just simply because sometimes they're different sizes, and sometimes it may be fewer calories than just like scanning this with the or typing it in the food tracking app and then just putting like one or two. A lot of the times we just like to weigh them because sometimes they break off differently or they're just not always all the same size. And so now, even though these things are on average about 160 calories a piece, and they'll, once they bake out, they'll be about that big. I like to have them with fat-free Fairlife milk because that milk has more protein than most milk. But these are my daughter. I'm sorry, my mind went blank for a minute. My daughter kind of explained it to me like this. I've never tried a crumble cookie just because, like I said, I'm not a big sugar freak. But my daughter likes crumble cookies. Those things are like, I've heard that some of them are as much as like 1,000 calories per cookie, and you can eat like three of these. Okay, three of these for the amount of calories that's in a crumble cookie. I don't know to be accurate, but I do know that I've heard it on TikTok, and my daughter's giving me like a rough estimate of how many calories one crumble cookie is. So sometimes you just have to pick and choose your battles, guys. But I would not suggest completely pulling anything. Just like carbs, okay, your body needs carbs. It's your body's energy source. If y'all don't believe me, you can look it up. The brain operates off of mostly sugar, okay? Even a type 2 diabetic has to have a certain amount of sugar, all right? So just always remember that all things in moderation, and when you're logging and tracking your food, long as this is not the majority of what you're eating, sugar and cookies and stuff like that, and it definitely doesn't need to be something that you're constantly craving. If you're constantly craving sugar, you need to up your protein intake and your fiber, all right? But that's why calorie tracking is so important, because even though both of these cookies are going to be about 270 calories, give or take, for me, or whatever 160 is times 2. That's 200. I don't know what is. Anyway, I'm horrible with math, but let's just say 300 calories for two of these cookies. It's worth the sacrifice for me, okay, at this moment. And again, so you don't have to take all of the fun foods, because if you do, if you can't find a way to sprinkle in some of the foods that you enjoy while still managing to lose weight or maintain your weight, you're going to be miserable. And if you're miserable, if your diet is miserable, you're going to be miserable, thereby making it a lot harder for you to adhere to it. And it's definitely going to make it hard for you to stick to it long term. So like always, I hope that this video helps. Oh wait, I didn't mean to end this video. So here's my Fairlife milk, and I'm gonna measure that out for maybe just a little bit more. Okay, and so this one kind of broke. It's kind of ugly, but that's 74 grams, and I'm so glad that I weighed them, because the last ones that I had, and I just had two, and this is technically one, but it broke, was 68 grams, which made it like 280 something calories. But these came up to 74 grams, which made them 312 calories. Hence to why you cannot fall in love with this type of eating constantly all throughout the day, snacking like this. That's 312 calories just for the cookies alone. Okay. Imagine eating like 4 or 5 of these things, which is definitely something I would have done back in the days. I would have made several of these cookies and ate them with a glass of milk. So, and I could get so much food out of, like, good quality food with like protein and good carbs and a vegetable. You don't want to be finding yourself craving or doing this all throughout the day. But this is just a quick, simple way of me showing y'all, I wouldn't say the downside, but just, the reality of, yes, I still eat sugar. And when I have cravings, I will fulfill them to a certain extent. So I hope that this video helps.